It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
NBA regular season opener for a couple of teams. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy you're here. I'm ecstatic that you're here. And
I miss you too,
and I'm
Ernie.
really happy that Kenny and Shaq are here,
I
too.
miss you too, Ernie.
Thank you. Me too. Tonight, it'll be the Philadelphia 76ers going up against the Boston Celtics in Boston. Well, for Boston, this is a team they played pretty well against last season, going 3-1. They'll look to keep that edge tonight. And the front lines for both teams tonight, powerful, explosive. Shaq, what's the key these days to building a great front court?
Well, the more versatile, the better. But it's more about skill and brute strength. You know I'm about skill and brute strength. I was the most skillful and brutally strong guy ever to play the game.
It's right, you are brutal.
What's so funny?
That, front court guys need to change ends. That's what's funny to me, Shaq, and nothing else. I just tell you right now, nothing else is funny to me.
You want me to show you how strong I am? I'll flip this table over right now.
I believe you could. I believe you could.
What you looking at, Ernie?
Not much.
Oh,
All right.
It's on. It's on.
I see Ernie.
And here's
No
Kevin
fear, Ernie.
Harlan. Here's Kevin Harlan.
I'll see you in the locker room, Ernie.
I'm Kevin Harlan along with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony, and Hall of Famer on our sideline, David Aldridge, and our very special guest, Hall of Famer to be, one of the greats ever to step on the pro hardwood, the one, the only, Kevin Garnett. KG, it's great to have you with us.
K-Hall, it's always great to see you, man.
It's the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Boston Celtics. And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Ben Simmons grew up playing Australian rules football. It may be one reason he's so comfortable attacking defenses and creating. He said, you have to read the defenders, draw them, then get rid of it. Otherwise, you're going to get tackled. Well, that's a foul in the NBA, but I understand his sentiment. Guys?
And David, he is not shy about contact at all. Thanks. And Kevin, to see you come in straight out of high school into the NBA, you forget, but it was so historic because we had not seen a high school player in such a long time.
Right. Yeah, at that time, it was 20 years before anybody had ever thought of the idea. I figured that I had the work ethic and the passion and the appetite for it. And I never looked back. I never second-guessed my decision. And when I did second-guess myself, I got in the gym and changed it.
One of the greatest picks in the history of the draft. And so off the tip, it's Boston. Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. Saric is the 4 with Embiid in the middle. Simmons runs the show with Redick at the 2. And it's Covington in at the 3 slot. Tatum kicks to Horford. Shot clock at 6. Basket counts. Horford's got the first points up on the board for Boston.
Yeah, I like how Tatum surveys the floor. Great at looking for his teammates, especially when they're open.
Ben Simmons gets the bucket.
And that's just showing off right there, guys. I mean, he is too good with that crossover.
Simmons against Irving. Pass to Tatum. A three-pointer, no good. Kevin, you talk a lot about passion, but also fundamentals. Who are some of the guys you faced that had great footwork that you admired and maybe even picked something up in terms of footwork after watching them play?
Footwork that jumps right out at me. Charles Barkley had really good footwork.
Interesting.
He was 6'4", undersized.
Yes.
He was able to use his body a lot. He was very physical. A lot of people don't know Charles Barkley had an unbelievable vertical. Tim Duncan had really good feet also. Rasheed Wallace had really good feet work. Shaq, believe it or not, I didn't really guard a lot of Shaq, but Shaq had a really good feet. You can really go through the whole catalog of guys. I'm thinking Zach Randolph because he was always open. Chris Bosh had really good feet.
Great names. And here is Simmons after Gordon Hayward hitting the 3. A second chance effort, and Simmons with the layup. Simmons got his second bucket of the night.
What an incredible effort from Simmons, using his length extremely well when he's crashing the glass.
Irving passes to Horford. Tatum on the wing. And KG, as many points as you scored in your career, how much pride did you take in your defensive play?
You know, I like to think that it's respected. You know, I didn't play. I like to think that when I got to Boston, I made more of a added effort to play defense. You know, in Minnesota, I had such a responsibility on the offensive side that you don't ever save yourself.
Yes.
You don't save yourself in anything. But I would have to find ways of when I come out of the game, you know, immediate ice stuff. You know, stuff that I could use to try to get any type of rest. I know Flip was going to use me in 2 or 3 minute segments, so I would probably have 3 to 4 minutes of rest and then have to get right back out. But when I got to Boston, obviously we had a deeper team, a better team, and Doc Rivers did a great job, I felt like, of listening to me. I was listening to my body, but more importantly, we have offensive scores. I wanted to be more the head of our defense. I wanted to be the one to be talking. Rondo and I had an immediate chemistry with that. It was something that it was natural between the two of us, and I think everybody else followed. Tibbs threw some schemes on top of some of the stuff that we was able to bring. Doc was open to some of the different ideas, scheme-wise, and the rest is history. Next thing you know, Cleveland is running out stuff. LeBron goes to Miami. Now Miami's running out stuff. Right. Next thing you know, Miami beats us with our stuff. It's evolution. It's evolution. It's evolution, man. If I sit here and go through it and you sit back and go and watch it, you're like, holy snap. Wow, it's the same look. They're bringing the guy over, post up. Yeah, so, shout out to everybody and us innovating and bringing that defense, and shout to Tibbs, right.
And, Kevin, you think about some of your toughest matchups. What about Shaquille O'Neal? What was it like defending Big Shaq?
You know what, man? Shaq, later on in our years, I had to guard him later, man. I told y'all, man. I guarded Shaq one time in the Cleveland series. And it was like holding up the side of a house. Seriously. Listen, I want y'all to go home and do this. I know I usually use food, right?
Yeah, right.
We're going to use materials
Okay.
in houses today, okay? I want you to go home, tell your wife, your girlfriend to ignore you. Cut out the side of your house. Go get your homeboy, have him help you. After he cuts the side of it, I want you to hold up the side of the house with your forearm for the whole 24 hours. Matter of fact, let's just do 2 hours.
Okay, all right,
2 hours. I don't want to break your arm.
Okay, yeah.
After 2 hours, you're going to push the house back, reseal it with some glue or whatever, right? Not my problem. That's how your arm feels, guarding Shaq.
Really?
I couldn't even wave at people right-handed for a whole day.
You had to wave left-handed?
I had to wave left-handed. And people know me. I'm all right-handed. I'm all, nothing left-handed. I throw my hand legs.
That is a big drink of water,
Listen,
isn't
man,
it?
listen. I have so much respect for all the centers
Yeah.
that have guarded Shaq. Seriously, rest in peace to all the centers Shaq has
Exhausting,
destroyed.
huh?
What?
Exhausting.
Shaq is like a side of your house. For all y'all wonder what it's like.
Defending
And
a
all
house.
y'all want some of the diesel. What it's like to guard the diesel. Go out and try to hold up your house. The diesel. Shout to the diesel.
KG, you had so much success as a high school player. In fact, you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated. How about that, huh? How about I can see the picture in my mind's eye right now?
This kid, that fell in my lap, man. That wasn't something that I was striving for, but who doesn't want to be on the cover of anything? And nonetheless, SI, and I was more than giddy-eyed and glitz or whatever you want to call it. Listen, very special moment for me. A lot of people don't know you have to get permission to be in certain neighborhoods, and we got permission to be in the neighborhood. We got the shooter right there in front of Farragut, which is very dear to me because of the transformation and the stuff that I have been through and where I was at. I hold Farragut a very, 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 very special place in my heart. So it was important for me to have it on the cover.
Morris is checked in for Jason Tatum. Wilson Chandler's checked in for Philadelphia. T.J. McConnell comes in for Saric.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Rozier with the ball. Now guarded by Simmons. Morris dishes to Hayward. And a miss there on the triple.
Yeah, they got that one, but early on, it's really been a struggle for them to secure that defensive backboard.
And because it's still early, I wouldn't read too much into it. There's still a lot of game left.
Now here's Embiid. Used the screen and took it all the way.
It's dangerous now letting Embiid get this deep. You're asking to get posterized with the throwdown.
Hayward on the wing to the middle. Out to Morris. Back to Horford. Over Embiid. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
He's not shooting a high percentage right now, and part of the reason could be that his shot quality is poor, and he's just got to be a little smarter about his shots.
A shot by Hayward, wide open. Offensive struggles continue, missing again. And so the first quarter is in the books. 76ers ahead. They lead by 6. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. The game is evolving, and Al Horford has changed his game along with it.
It never occurred to me that I'd be shooting threes at this rate and doing some of the things that I'm doing, but it's just the way that the game has evolved.
And give Horford credit. He adjusted with the times. He didn't stay set, Greg, in his ways.
Yeah, he was always a great mid-range shooter, and he's proven to be a legitimate threat from deep.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And looking at what we've seen from the 76ers, what do you guys think?
I think they play great D and not giving up anything easy early on.
Exactly. I mean, they've made their presence felt on this end. Excellent job contesting shots so far.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter of play. On the floor for Boston, Hayward and Morris, your small and power forwards. Smart is out there with Rozier, and it's Baines in at the center. And the Celtics making a change here. Brown's checked in, and Philadelphia also making a switch. Redick is checked in. Austin with the ball. Celtics trail by 6. Rozier with the ball. Looking for his first basket still in this one. Here's Smart. He's off on that one. And Philadelphia the other way now.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And guys, you know that rebounding is a huge part, a huge component of winning games. It's not a glamour stat, but it's necessary if you're going to be a winning team.
Irving's checked in for Terry Rozier. That one is no good. And KG, you've talked about the players who influenced you. It must help to have that inspiration from other great players.
So I look at trying to find
a compass or a roadmap.
Something in Chris Webber right away. As soon as I saw high school footage of him,
so interesting.
I saw a tape of him and Big Dog playing each other in a dark gym in Chicago, and they was just dunking on each other. And it was this classic tape. This is a real story. And I resonated with Webber ever since. And, he didn't really shoot a lot of jumpers. He was through. He was powerful. And I mixed it, obviously took pieces of that. And they were able to, obviously put it into my own game. But he was my inspiration.
That's a great story.
Now, I see Webb knows that. I told him that. When I first met Webb, I was starstruck. Him and Michael Jordan and Shaq a little bit, right? Because Shaq is like, holy, like, God. Shaq.
He's like that house you were
inside
talking
the
about.
house. Go home, look inside the house. It's like looking at Shaq, right? Shaq to Diesel, right? But seriously, I was starstruck, and I was like, holy snap. And then, he scored, and I had to really come out of that really fast. And after that, I think the very next year, I blocked the shot and said something. He was like, oh, we talking? Yeah. But since then, we've always had an understanding. We've always went in each other's neck, and we understood what it was. But, Chris Webber was a huge inspiration in my progression.
Love that.
He's really starting to ramp it up now, getting involved in the offense here after being held without a point in the first.
Johnson the screen. Chandler outside. Johnson right side. 6 to shoot. Here's McConnell. Again, Philadelphia.
And really, the defense didn't do a lot to fight around that screen on that possession.
Kevin, it's not enough that you've got to manage a career, which demands so much time and so much your mental and physical being. But then managing a marriage, having a family while you're playing, that's a balancing act that not a lot of guys can pull off, but you have.
No, you have a professional life, and then you have a personal life. I like to think that basketball is obviously my profession. I love to play. It has a business component to it that you got to obviously get some attention to. But then, when it comes to being personal, your family, your friends, you have to separate the two. I would learn very early in my early career that never bring basketball home. leave it on the court. One of the things I struggled with was losing and being able to leave it on the court.
That would have been tough for you in particular.
No, I'm just telling you, my first 5-6 years, I can honestly say, I've lost relationships in the fact that I couldn't leave certain things on the floor.
Right.
I wasn't really good with that as a young man, and it cost me some cruel relationships. But I like to think that I learned from that. I like to think that I've applied the things that I've learned, and I was able to separate the two, which is very important.
Yes.
Got to have a distinction between the two.
Irving with a clean look, and the 3 off target.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole, because he is just not there offensively.
And here comes Brown, leading the fast break, and slam dunk by Tatum.
Boy, Brown not just a super athlete, folks, but he's got excellent skills as well. A tremendous floor general.
The 76ers leading by 3, and let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Al Horford is a multiple all-star. And if you count his stats, you miss what he brings to the table. When you factor in his passing, his defense, his efficiency, he does all the things that help you win. Coach Brad Stevens said, Al Horford averaging 15 points a game for you is like other guys averaging 27. Kevin?
The definition of a pro. Terrific guy. Thank you, D.A. Al Horford, he's checked in for Boston. Gordon Hayward comes in for Morris. Then for the 76ers, Ben Simmons comes in for Johnson. And it's Fultz in for T.J. McConnell. Inside, and Simmons slams it in.
Really like the quick decision-making of Fultz there, Kevin. Excellent at surveying the floor for the open teammate.
Now here's Irving, guarded by Fultz.
Boy, the defense had gone to sleep, so you got to knock that one down.
Simmons on the wing. Over Tatum. No good from Simmons.
Well, he mistimed it just a skosh. Don't think the defense really had an impact. I think he just flat out missed it.
KG, I wanted to give you a special thanks for joining us, helping us with the call tonight. You always have a seat at this table to broadcast any of our games.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I appreciate you letting me come through, man. It was an honor, man, seriously.
We'll do it again soon.
Let me know, man.
That's
Let me
KG.
know.
That's the great Kevin Garnett.
My dog.
And Clark, it's amazing. KG was the alpha dog as a player, and he just continues to carry that with him. That's who he is.
And, I think that's who he will always be, too, Kevin. Seemed like he had the attributes of being a leader and grew into that even more as he was mentored by guys like Sam Mitchell and others. So he's the kind of guy with his personality, his charisma, his work ethic that others find it easy to look up to.
And that one misses.
When you watch Ben Simmons, he has marvelous talent and all-around ability, but sometimes you can easily focus on what he can't do. He's not a great shooter, so teams do back off of him, but still, this guy is an impact player because he sees the floor, he passes it great, he's a terrific rebounder, and he's got a nice motor.
Now Irving, after the missed 3 from Dario Saric, and the basket by Rozier.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
Yeah, it's finishing your defense, Greg. We know that. You can defend, then you got to rebound the miss, and you got to get to the glass with intensity.
Rozier with the steal. 29 seconds left to play here in the half. Irving for 3. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Irving's got the game tied up here for the Celtics.
I love the three-point shooting of Irving. Excellent at dialing it in from deep, and you've got to respect his range.
Here's Simmons. 16 points for him. 5 to shoot. Top of the key jumper, no good. What a performance for Kyrie Irving. He has been the story for Boston. That quarter had to take a lot out of him. He racked up 12 points. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks a lot, Kyrie. What got you going in the first?
My teammates were just finding me, setting good screens, and just stay aggressive, not only for myself, but for them. We're kind of in a hole in the first quarter, kind of sluggish, came out in the second quarter, kind of sluggish, but just got to pick it up on the defensive end. That's where it starts.
Kyrie, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime.